What's going on? So, what do I think about Larry Holmes saying that George Foreman had ducked him and he called him a phony and he said he was the biggest boxing fraud? What do I think about that? That was a news flash. But they were supposed to fight back in '99. It didn't come to pass. And if you're Larry Holmes, you wanted to probably beat him. But if Foreman had a belt, he really went off on George Foreman. It cracked me up because he said that Tommy Morrison and Shannon Biggs had beat him, and he said he called him a fraud. He said he couldn't fight. He went in on him. Um, would have been something if they had a fought back in their peaks and their primes. Foreman had a heavy hand. Now, I don't know if Larry Holmes was echoing something that Ali maybe picked up from a technical standpoint of Foreman, but Foreman, when he dropped Joe Frazier, I don't think anyone ever questioned that. Foreman could hit, you know, from a technical standpoint of view, but the way Ali beat him with the rope a dope. But again, I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. You have to be pretty skilled. Holmes had one of the best jabs ever. Lord knows he could put your butt to sleep if he just jabbed you and he could go. But I thought that was a bit extreme to say that. I think George Foreman is one of the 10 greatest fighters. I think Larry Holmes is one of the 10 greatest fighters ever. I don't see that. I ain't never heard no one say Foreman couldn't fight. I think the way he got beat by Ali was a technical aspect. I'll give you that. But that's technique. But then again, how many cats can take what Foreman can do? Really work with it, because Foreman was a strategist. It's like how he beat Michael Moore when became the oldest fighter to ever win the chip. He had to know how to fight. He had to understand technical aspects. Not too many people could beat George Foreman by standing toe to toe, because he hit too hard and he could tear off in the end. So I don't know what Larry Holmes was going on about with that, but I do respect Larry Holmes. But I also understand Larry Holmes never got no respect. Now, Larry Holmes was like that dude that was dominant in the era there was no dominance. And plus, he didn't sell no tickets and there was no hype. So people kind of like made a joke of it and made a mockery and kind of downplay it when the cat didn't get his due. So I understand his hurt feelings, but this is a bit much. I mean, you can't sit up there and say the guy couldn't fight. You could say that maybe he decked you, maybe he ducked you, maybe y'all had different opinion. But to say he's a phony and he couldn't fight, that's a bit much. That's pretty heavy. It's a shame we can't take them back in their peak and their primes and go toe to toe, because that sure would have been a fight worth seeing. That may have been even more worth watching than Hearns and Hagler, the way they went at it, because something would have to give. But I can understand the sour grapes from Larry Holmes. I mean, again, Foreman reinvented